All right, so are you ready to really dive into this whole Hollywood thing?
Oh, yeah.
Because today we're going to unpack how fame,
Yeah.
fortune, and finding your crew kind of all get mixed up in the city of angels.
Right.
You know how they say everything in Hollywood's like an illusion?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see how deep that goes.
Absolutely. And what I find super interesting about this particular story
Okay.
is how it uses these characters and their journeys to kind of pull back the curtain on the mechanics of Hollywood. You know, like what's really going on behind the scenes.
Because it's not all just like red carpets and fancy award shows, right?
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in the glitz and the glamour.
Right.
But this deep dive, it uncovers the grit, the compromises, and often the unexpected consequences that come with chasing stardom.
It's like they say truth is often stranger than fiction.
Oh, absolutely.
And speaking of truth versus fiction, our main character, Clarise Chalmers, is like a perfect example of that.
Clarise, this whole Hollywood bad girl image.
Yeah.
It's a fabrication,
right.
A carefully crafted brand.
Mm-hmm.
Her real name is actually Meghan Kowalski.
Wow.
Which doesn't exactly scream movie star now, does it?
Not quite.
No.
It kind of makes you wonder, what would your Hollywood alias be?
Right.
But it's actually kind of brilliant when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
This whole thing she's created, this Clarise persona, is what brings in the big bucks.
Precisely. The story really highlights how this image, this calculated persona, directly impacts her career. There's even a point where her agent straight up tells her that people are more willing to pay to see Clarise Chalmers on screen than a Meghan Kowalski.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's almost like she's trapped by her own persona. Is that what you're getting at?
In a way, yes. It's like this constructed identity becomes both a blessing and a curse for Clarise. On one hand, it brings her fame and fortune.
Sure.
But on the other, it forces her to constantly maintain this facade, this image, blurring the lines between who she is.
It's like she's playing a role 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting, you know?
Yeah, I bet.
And nowhere is this more apparent than in her rivalry with singer Connie Leighton.
Oh, yeah, the Connie Leighton feud.
Ah, yes, the infamous Connie Leighton feud.
That was everywhere.
This clash is a prime example of how manufactured drama just fuels the Hollywood machine.
Oh, totally.
It's all about grabbing headlines, staying relevant, even if it means turning something like environmentalism into a PR opportunity.
Wait, are we talking about the situation with Connie's private jet?
Yes. Clarise makes this seemingly offhand comment about Connie's stance on climate change, suggesting she should swap her private jet for a bicycle.
Oh, wow.
And what seems like a harmless jab turns into this massive public feud.
Oh, I bet. The media must have gone crazy.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. The story reveals that Clarise, or rather Meghan, is completely aware of how this manufactured drama benefits her.
Oh, wow.
How it keeps her in the spotlight.
She's playing the game.
She even admits to not really caring about the environmental aspect of it all.
Wow, talk about knowing how to work the system. It seems like she's always thinking 3 steps ahead, like a chess master.
And just when you think you have her figured out, a new player enters the scene. Will, our struggling writer, who stumbles headfirst into Clarise Chalmers' world.
Talk about a culture shock.
Yeah.
He lands a job managing her public image, which seems like a completely left-field opportunity for someone with his background.
Right. Will's background in physics and math is about as far from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood as you can get.
You'd think they would have gone for someone who practically breathes entertainment news.
Right.
Why bring in a numbers guy to manage a star's image?
It speaks to Clarice's business savvy. Remember, she's not just an actress, she's a brand.
Right.
She sees something different in Will, a perspective outside the Hollywood bubble.
So she's not just looking for someone who understands the entertainment industry. She wants someone who can analyze it, strategize.
Exactly. It's a fascinating dynamic. Clarice, the Hollywood bad girl with a carefully crafted image, chooses Will, the analytical mind, with no real connection to the industry to manage her public persona.
Wow.
It's an unlikely pairing, to say the least.
And you can bet things are about to get very interesting.
It's wild how the one thing that makes Will seem like a total outsider in Hollywood actually becomes his biggest strength.
You're so right. Last time we left Will, stepping into this crazy world with all the publicists and the stars and everything.
Totally.
And all he's got is his physics and his math brain.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the skills we have can be useful in ways we never expect.
Who knew that stuff would help with managing a celebrity's image? I mean, seriously.
It's pretty amazing, actually. His analytical mind, that ability to spot patterns.
Right.
To solve problems.
It's like he's a detective almost.
Kind of. He approaches Clarice's image like it's an equation, ranking down the trends, anticipating how people will react.
So smart.
He's playing 4D chess.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just Clarice. He ends up helping. Didn't he use his whole tech thing to get Connie Leighton out of that mess?
Oh, absolutely. Remember Connie's ex-boyfriend? The one who conveniently forgot to mention he was married.
Wait, he lied about being married?
Yep, and tried to extort money from her.
Ugh, that is so messed up. Even for Hollywood, that's cold.
Right. But Will swoops in with his tech skills. He digs up info online, finds proof that the ex was lying.
He's like a digital detective.
Basically. He uses his skills to protect Connie, you know?
Good for him. So he's not just some image guy. He's like a problem solver.
Exactly. Which brings us to another big thing this story explores. The not-so-glamorous side of Hollywood.
Right, because it can't all be red carpets and fancy parties.
Exactly. The story doesn't sugarcoat things at all. It shows the dark side, the stuff people don't usually see.
Like what? Give me the dirt.
Well, while Will's busy with Clarice, he comes face-to-face with the uglier side of the industry.
Oh, no.
Shady people, drugs, this whole culture of using people and then stabbing them in the back.
That is rough.
It really makes you think about the price of fame, you know?
Totally. And through it all, Will's trying to figure out where he fits in.
Right. Remember, he's a writer at heart. He has his own dreams, and those dreams don't involve being famous.
It's like he's walking a tightrope trying to make it in this crazy world but not lose himself.
Exactly. And then there's this whole thing with Clarice.
Ooh, things are heating up.
Right. Their relationship is so interesting because it makes you wonder, is it real or just part of the Hollywood game?
Good question. Because at first they're just working together, right?
Totally. But then you see these moments, these little sparks.
Yeah, like when they talk about investing.
Yeah. Or when he helps her get her finances in order.
It's like you see a different side to both of them.
Exactly. These glimpses of real connection make you root for them, you know?
For sure. But still, it's Hollywood. Hard to know what's real and what's for show.
And don't forget, Will's still carrying around the baggage from his past relationship.
Oh, right. His ex-girlfriend, Violet. The one who just up and left.
Yeah. Trying to deal with heartbreak is hard enough.
Especially in a city like L.A.
Right. It makes you wonder if finding something real in that town is even possible.
I know, right? And just when Will thinks he can sort things out, he stumbles into this whole other situation, right?
You mean normal?
Yeah. Her, of course. The whole thing feels like it's straight out of a movie. Seriously. It's like he's gone from like building up this Hollywood image to dealing with a real-life drama.
Yeah, and this whole thing with normal, it shows us a new side of Will, you know?
Right.
Like what he's really willing to do for someone.
So remind me how it all starts again. He's at the store and sees this little girl all alone.
Exactly. He bumps into Normal, and she's just wandering around.
And by the way, Normal, that's a pretty unusual name, don't you think?
It does make you wonder about her upbringing, right?
It's like something out of like a Charles Dickens book or something.
Well, maybe not that extreme, but then she tells him her name is actually Pudhole.
Pudhole? Seriously, where did that even come from?
Gee, that's the thing about this story. Just when you think you've got it all figured out,
Right?
It throws you a curveball.
Totally. So, okay, Pudhole is being raised in a commune by her mom, Amelia.
Right. And get this, Amelia used to be an actress, too.
Whoa, no way. It's like everyone in this story is connected somehow.
It really shows you how everyone's got to pass the story.
Yeah.
Even in a place like Hollywood, that's all about, like, reinventing yourself.
It's true. And going after this connection with Amelia really makes, we'll think about the difference between, like, the fake stuff in Hollywood and real life with real problems.
Absolutely. On one hand, he's dealing with made-up drama. But with Normal's situation, it's serious. A kid's well-being is at stake.
Totally. And Amelia's past is a perfect example of that.
Right.
Didn't she go to jail for, like, some kind of environmental protest thing?
Yeah, her past catches up to her.
Yeah?
And because of this choice she made, she's separated from her daughter.
That's heavy. Especially for Will, who's trying to figure out his own values in this world where right and wrong are so blurry.
It's true. And in the middle of all this, Will realizes he can give Normal something she needs.
What's that?
Stability. A good home. He
Yeah.
wants to give her a normal life, you know?
So he steps up and becomes her guardian.
He does. It
Yeah.
really shows you what kind of guy he is. In a town where everyone's looking out for number one, Will puts family and responsibility first.
That's amazing. And they did go to court and everything, right?
Oh, yeah. There's that great scene where Normal, who wants to be called Grace now?
I like Grace.
Me too.
Yeah.
Anyway, she officially becomes his ward, and the judge even makes a joke about there not being any wolves in L.A.
That's cute. It kind of shows how they're both starting fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Grace is creating a new life for herself.
Right.
And Will's building a life outside of the Hollywood craziness.
Or finding their people.
Exactly. And through all this, his relationship with Meghan keeps changing.
Of course. Because now he's seen it, all the good, the bad, the real, and the fake.
And he still asks her to marry him.
He does. Wow.
He takes a chance. He sees something real with her, something worth taking a risk for.
It makes you think, is their happy ending just another Hollywood fantasy? Or is it proof that you can find real love even in a town built on make-believe?
That's the question, isn't it?